Hello, welcome to another video. So this video is a sort of discussion rather than a review or a preview or a prediction. It's about Canelo Alvarez. So many people do know next weekend Canelo Alvarez is fighting Amir Khan for the WBC and Ring Magazine, or defending his WBC and Ring Magazine middleweight titles at a catchweight fight of £155, I do believe. The weight limit is of course 160. And Canelo Alvarez has never actually fought or defended his belt at 160 from my recollection, which obviously is quite poor, and in my opinion doesn't really sort of put the sort of WC in the great light. The fact that he can just say, oh, I'm doing a catchweight fight at 155 and I could defend my belt, but they have come out and said that if he doesn't fight Golovkin, then he will have to he'll be stripped of it and it'll become vacant. So this is what the video is about. Will Canelo Alvarez fight Golovkin? If you don't know, Golovkin is also in the middleweight division, and he's the current WBA, IBF, IBO and IBO middleweight champion. I think he's on like a 20 knockout streak as well, and then one of the most feared and powerful punches in boxing today. He hasn't got like the best resume in the world, and I'm a big fan of him, but he's fought some decent people, but not really anyone to really shout about. He just won last weekend. I can't remember the guy's name. I haven't watched the fight yet. But he knocked him out a couple of rounds, and again, easy work, and it's just sort of it's not boring because obviously seeing knockouts is obviously exciting. Well, from my opinion, it is, but I wouldn't pay for his fights. I mean, obviously I don't live in America, so I'm not sure that the prices are to go and watch him, but I wouldn't pay the money to, if it was a sort of pay-per-view service. I think it was on Box Nation when he fought, I think 2 weeks ago. Box Nation is a good service as well, but I wouldn't pay the money just to watch him because you know it's going to end in a couple of rounds. But yeah, so will Gennady Golovkin square off against Canelo Alvarez? The big question is if, of course. So my personal opinion is no, because Canelo Alvarez has got a better resume than Gennady Golovkin. For Floyd Mayweather, Austin Trout, S.A. Lara, and of course Amir Khan upcoming. And that's just name a few. These wasn't good people, but when you look at those people, none of them really sort of scream power. I mean, James Cutton last year got knocked out by Alvarez in a couple of rounds, and he had good power, but he's not the sort of right fighter to beat Alvarez. Classic example, of course, Floyd Mayweather back in 2013, beat him and won probably every single round using movement, speed, and his just general ring ability. Of course, Amir Khan is not as good as Floyd Mayweather, but he's got speed and he can use it effectively to possibly get the upset. But of course, many people do believe that Canelo Alvarez will probably knock out Amir Khan due to his split chin, but after that will be fighting Golovkin. As I said before, I don't think he will, because Golovkin is a, well, I guess now to say it, he's an intimidating opponent. If I was a champion, I know obviously the champion is meant to take on all challenges, and I mean possible unification fight as well. 3 main belts on the line and become undisputed middleweight champion as well, whoever won that fight. But I just can't see how Alvarez would want to go into that fight, because I don't know, protecting some sort of legacy, or that's the thing. I have no reason. I don't understand why he doesn't want to fight him. I mean, like, I heard from one rumour that it was going to be a catchweight, but Golovkin was against it, I think. But then Alvarez come out and said it was 155 or there's no fight being made. I think that's correct, but there's been various news stories that I've read lately, so I mean it's very conflicting. But if that's the case, I think that's pretty poor from Alvarez's standpoint of view, because if he was about 40 years old, back end of his career, you can probably understand he's had a long career, probably won world titles, fought all the best people he can, and he doesn't want to get hurt. Alvarez is what, 24, is he? 26? 25, 24, 26 years old. He's probably in his prime years as a fighter. Golovkin is 35, I think, or maybe 34. Golovkin isn't saying, oh, I don't want to fight him because I'm getting quite old now. I've been boxing for quite a while. That's not really. You don't see Golovkin doing that. And look at Bernard Hopkins, for example. He was 49 years old when he won another world title at light heavyweight. You didn't see him going against is it Sergey Koloev? Sorry if I got the name wrong. Last year, the year before, you didn't see him saying, "Oh no, I don't want to fight something that's got a heavy punch and will probably knock me out. I fear for my health," because Hopkins isn't afraid or intimidated by that situation. I'm not even sure if it comes down to intimidation for Alvarez, his team saying to him, "Oh, don't fight him. There's other options." Because if you think about it this way, he did come out and say that he's a light middleweight. Well, if you're light middleweight, why are you in the middleweight division? See, again, obviously, when he fought Miguel Cotto last year to win the belt, that was a good challenge, good fight, both exciting fighters. But you think if you're at a middleweight, fight a middleweight. You don't see Golovkin doing all these catch weights and let's fight at like 158 or something, or 156. You just don't see him. I mean, he's fighting. I mean, not as good fighters as Alvarez, but you don't see him saying, "Oh, I want to do 158. I can't make 160." It's £5. It's not like 25, £30, and that's what I don't really understand. If you sort of summarise it, in my best opinion, it's £5. You're telling me that Canelo Alvarez, who's a professional athlete, can't put on £5 to fight someone who's in the same weight class and has been fighting there basically his whole career, and you're a heavy person naturally. I mean, anyone who watches Alvarez fight knows how much he regenerates. What's the problem? So it's either he's scared, his team doesn't want to fight him, Oscar the High is probably protecting him for some bullshit reason, so over swearing, but it's true. I mean, like, that's what it gets on my nerves as well, because like, people can defend him all he wants, saying, "Oh, this is the reason." Well, what's the reason why? There's not. I don't really see it. I don't see enough. I guess pros not to fight him than cons, because there's more negatives there's more bad points coming from Alvarez's point of view than Golovkin's. I mean, Golovkin has clearly said multiple times that he wants to fight him, but obviously many people have said over the years, countless times. I mean, classic point, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao. How many times did they say in various interviews after fights, between fights, that if you talk to a promoter, let's get it made. Of course, if that fight's been all that, you heard it for years and years and years. So there's no point really believing that, because unless there's some sort of signed contract or agreement, there's no point in believing it. And I'm pretty sure every boxing fan with half a brain would probably realise that you need to have some sort of contract signed, photographic evidence, or like just obviously confirmation from various camps, which obviously is a bit standard. Of course, is standard these days in boxing. But if they was going to fight, which I don't see happening, as I said, I do think Golovkin would win. I'm not saying he would just blast and go in there and knock him out, because Alvarez is a good fighter, probably one of the better fighters at the current point. I mean, he's a world champion. I know there's various belts now, but he's still got to be a good fighter to win a world title. But I do think Golovkin would probably win. I'd like to say knockout, because obviously he's on his mad knockout streak, knocking out people left, right and centre. But then again, Alvarez knows what he's doing. He's not a novice. He's been fighting. He's only got 50 fights on his record, which is crazy. But of course, Canelo Alvarez has got to fight Amir Khan first, and I do think Alvarez will probably beat him. Simply the fact that I might have mentioned before in my fight prediction video, Khan versus Alvarez, that he's stronger, heavier, and there's too many factors for Alvarez, advantage for Alvarez against Khan, unless Khan somehow pulls out sort of like a once in a lifetime performance and uses speed and movement and just literally makes Canelo Alvarez miss every single round for every minute, and somehow doesn't get clipped by a big punch. But of course, who knows? I mean, Khan might pull it off. I highly doubt it, because you're always going to get hit in boxing. It doesn't matter how good you are. I mean, look at Floyd Mayweather. Even Floyd Mayweather can get him. People say he's obviously he's got like a really low percentage of being hit. He still gets hit, so he's not like indestructible. But once Alvarez beats Khan, obviously there is options there, but the obvious option would to fight the best person in your weight class, which, in my recollection, that's what you're meant to do. If you're a world champion, there's another world champion in your weight class, go and fight him. I mean, look at again, that's an example. I don't want to keep using it because it's not really the best example, but Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, they fought because they were the best fighters in the division at their current point. Yeah, it took far too long to make, but they both fought. So what's the problem? But I guess it's sort of like a discussion / rant, whatever. But so yeah, I mean, let me know what you thought down in the comments below. I'm happy to have a discussion, of course, because it is a good discussion to talk about a good topic like this, because there's many ways of looking at it. Who knows, Golovkin might be saying it, and he might even, I know he could retire, couldn't he? Like, he might retire at the end of this year or something, like, oh, I'm done or something, who knows? But that's just a wild suggestion. But so let me know what you think down in the comments below. We're going to talk about it as well. And who knows, we might see a Golovkin and Alvarez fight down the line. Who knows, time will tell. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like and comment as I said, and I'll see you in the next video.